I'm happy about that. And I'm in. I went to some really big servers where there are a lot of people. Like there's a study server and it's called Study Lounge, and it gets really popular around this time of the year because kids have finals. So I shouldn't say kids, but college students, and that's generally like college students and graduate students, and um, so I'm live streaming in there, and trying to think. I mean, we were just here not too many days ago. What did we have that was officially groundbreaking or explosive? Just really, I've been getting a lot of random like bursts of people in here. So that group of guys that just came in, um, they've been coming in, kind of give me shit on a nightly basis, but that's fine. If they want to do that, that's cool. Oh, yesterday. Oh no, we had a ton of people in here yesterday. Not a ton, but like I'd say like 10 to 15, and I talked for like an hour or two, just on advanced technology. So I have this list of things that goes into de-extinction and Dyson spheres and all kinds of shit like that, and um, people were listening, and that was cool. Um, yeah, so I can't say that I've had like nobody's been in here as long as you have by any means, but I have had like quite a like how would I describe it? Like bursts of people who come in here. Caspian, see, if you don't mind, I have to use the restroom. I haven't had a chance to go in a while. I'll be right back, my man.
All portable nuclear reactor, putting it back in time, dropping it, look at it, producing power, and wonder how it works, start taking it apart and get some of the shielding off, people drop dead because of radiation. Now, people have no idea that radiation even exists back then, but anybody that comes in to check on them will also drop dead. And, you know, there's no reason that that exact scenario happened with what we're doing, but no idea how the physics operates. The power levels are like I said, astronomical, like incredibly dangerous to think of. And in some respects, we were guinea pigs trying to find out how to make this.
So they had a series, as far as you can mind, they had a series of scientists try to back engineer, try to figure out bring in.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how many, but I knew there were maybe during the reaction.
And you don't know how many worked on it. One.
This could have been there for 50 years. It could have been there for 5 years.
They give you instructions. What are they? They're giving you directions, showing you all this.
Well, essentially, what they asked was what I said. All,
Seven.
Caspian, see, have you seen some of the um, recent, like within the last, I don't know, week footage of UFOs around the world?
No, I haven't.
Dude, it's been everywhere. To the point where people are getting aggressive. Like people are getting aggressive with them, meaning they are like shining lasers at these at these things, and the things react. They'll move like at a total 90-degree angle. Hold on, I'll show you. It's actually, yeah, okay. So if you would just go to X and type in UFO. Uh, I mean, I can show it to you too. Just one moment. Like fucking phone. Type in UFO laser and then search by recent, and you'll see this big green beam that goes, somebody shoots at this thing, and it's happening like in a bunch of different places. All right, UFO laser. If you look at I'll tell you their name in a second. I can send it to you. Okay, go to world news underscore x underscore, and then it's gonna move like to the left really quickly. Is it a green laser? Isn't that fucking wild that they react to lasers? And you know, it's like an FAA violation if you do that. It's like $10,000 fine and all kinds of other shit. Yet nobody fucks with these people because it's like, oh, okay, if you want to come and find me and like put me in jail and shit, then tell me what the fuck that was. Right. So they like call in backup. So then there's another one that I've seen. Is that one like at Lake Michigan? Okay, so that's a different one. Um, okay, yeah. So there's one over New Jersey, and there's one they um. So there's one over Lake Michigan, one over New Jersey, and they like. Okay, watch this. They fire a fucking laser at this thing, and it fires a laser back at them. Like I've never known people to be like fucking with UFOs. Okay, cool. Isn't it wild? Like, have you ever? I've never. I mean, I've been studying ufology pretty hardcore for the last half decade, and I've never known anybody to aggressively shine shit at one of them ever and see it react. That's been some wild shit. Right. With like no fear. Like they're like, no, this isn't a plane. And if you've ever seen, isn't it wild? Like, I don't know if it's like a UFO flap or just all kinds of people are like seeing the stuff online and going outside and taking a look. There was something over Irvine. I saw some footage of it, and um, it was it was like the next day, so I didn't have a chance to see it in person. But I could tell you that it's like it's almost like they're trying to tell us something. And I don't know if it's related to. the UFO hearings that you made us aware of with Lou Elizondo that one day, or I don't know, there's some guy. There was some prediction by somebody from like 2014. I mean, like a long time ago, and they were like, yeah, on December 3rd, there's going to be some kind of UFO, like major UFO sighting, and everybody. I don't know if it was exactly that long ago, but it was like, wow, this motherfucker was really pretty accurate. Like he said it would be December 3rd. Holy shit. Hey, look who it is. Hey, Riser,
No,
Riser,
British little fucking flying fucks are gone.
dog, you are the greatest American hero we've ever had, Riser.
Oh, I know.
Riser, Riser, you got to get on board with what we're looking at right now. So Riser, when we first met, or not first met, but like you used to be skeptical about the alien topic, like, and, I talk about it a lot. At least Zoot was like, Rabbi's the reason why I believe in aliens now. But we've gone through this. Riser, do you believe in aliens?
Uh, what kind of aliens are we
Dog, just go on X right now. There are like sightings all over the world right now. Go on X.
talking? I'm supposed to be scared because it's really going on, alright?
No, I mean this is real shit. People are using laser pointers to like defend themselves against these things.
If a fucking laser pointer could be aliens, I'm already.
No, it doesn't defeat the aliens, but they like they fire lasers back at us.
You're telling me there's a video of alien spaceships firing
Yeah, here you go. I'll show it to you. Like no one ever.
dogs?
Okay,
Let's
just
see it.
just one moment, big man. I want to get the one where they fire it back at. Okay, so it's right here at the beginning of it. So there are all these videos of people shooting lasers at these things, but here it is coming back at you.
That was it? Just like a little light guy?
Dog, when else do you know of a light in the sky that shoots a laser at you?
I couldn't really see the video.
Okay, well then open up your phone, go to X, and look at it for yourself. Here are other people shooting lasers at it.
Oh, New Jersey one?
There's one in New Jersey, there's one at Lake Michigan, there's one, but yeah, you can look at the New Jersey one. Dude, there's another one.
Well, flying up, not proof that
Dog, what the fuck else
yeah.
is it?
If we have unmanned, we have unmanned flying devices. No proof that it's not this.
Dog, do you know if you shoot, at least in the United States, a laser at a plane, the $10,000 fine and jail time?
Yeah, so shouldn't those getting rid
Well, the thing is, it's not from Earth, or perhaps it's not from the United States, at least. I forgot. I forgot. Riser is the ultimate skeptic of everything, and which is good. It just makes it very difficult to prove anything.
I don't know. I mean, I think if there's actual like uh,
No, 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 no. We didn't say invasion. They're just there. An invasion's different. An invasion, they'll destroy the planet if they wanted to. Okay, if I just type in UFO laser, or just UFO in Twitter,
I'm seeing a lot of videos.
like far more than you normally see. Now, I don't know if that's just because they've become more popular or what, but like here's one from 7 minutes ago in Arkansas. Um, these things are just
And how are you?
right.
You drive the alien boat. This.
Wait, don't call it bullshit. Don't call it bullshit. That's that's
That trigger
disrespectful.
word?
That's my word, but that's reserved for things that we for which we don't have evidence. Perhaps there's a lot of evidence.
I think there's no evidence that aliens on board these other than speculation. Um, yeah, it could be a movie cross.
Right, I know. I'm saying at a certain point you can't force someone to believe something. So I understand if you want to be skeptical, but at a certain point as well, your your skepticism is blinding. I mean, here's one over New.
Asking, am I being irrational? Why am I?
Absolutely. Thank you, dog. Here's one over New Jersey, 18 minutes ago. What up, B-boy?
Hey guys,
How you living, pimp?
how's it going, guys?
We are just talking UFOs and aliens. How about you?
I'm going.
Are you a fan of UFOs and aliens?
Yeah, I'm a mess.
Oh, amazing. So, did you?
Mess like that.
Okay, well, you're in the
I was
right
thinking of
spot.
a blue ticket.
What did you say? You're more of a fan than what? I don't know what you said. What did he say? He's more than a fan than more people feed him. Okay. How are things? How are things going for you, Leroy? Well, we're glad that you're here. If you have a chance, excellent. Take a look on Twitter and type in UFO. There are all kinds of UFO sightings that are going on now, like across the United States and the world, and pretty amazing. Have you seen the UFO with the laser?
What's wrong with the laser?
No, there's a UFO that people are using a laser pointer, shooting a laser pointer at it, and it's like shooting lasers back at them. Here, I'll show you some footage. So this laser pointer makes the UFO move. It just shoots off to the side of the screen once it gets hit. Boop. Then a bunch of them show up. This all happened within the last 72 hours.
Oh, I've seen this.
All right, well, now you're seeing it again, my man. And then there's another one where it shoots a laser at the people or shoots it back at them. I'll get that one in a second. Here it is. Okay, well, I don't know if that's true. Okay, okay, well, I mean, there are like hundreds of these that are coming out every single night. Do you know who Bob Lazar is? Okay, excellent. Well, that's phenomenal. If I may ask, V. Roy, how'd you find out about me? Okay, I know who your friends are. Perhaps, I don't know, but all right, very cool. Um, I don't know. They were just in here like not too long ago, but you guys, uh, where did it? Who would they be? I don't even know their names. But there's like a group of like six guys or so. Yeah, they're from like Australia and New Zealand. Okay, excellent. Well, I want you to know that you're welcome here whenever you want. I stream my life 24/7 for world peace. I don't want war anymore. And essentially, some of the things that we discuss on the stream are things like anti gravity, antimatter, alien disclosure, de extinction, life extension technology, mind uploading technology, some really cool science.
Are you pro alien then?
I don't think they're gonna, I don't think they're malicious.
They have any badass scammers?
Well, if you know what they do, they fly over our nuclear facilities and shut them down. So they actually shut down nuclear weapons. And if you know anything about people who have had alien abduction, key one of the key themes that is talked about is that aliens want us to not use nuclear weapons for an aggressive purpose.
Do you think aliens are real?
Oh, 100%, dog.
Yeah, me too, dog.
Excellent. Yeah, and I could. Okay, well, I don't know about that, but you never know.
Could have been a
That very well could be, my friend. Well, we're watching. Cool, fine. I could finish. Um, but okay, this one's really interesting. Some of these UFOs and what they're. Did you see the one over Manchester, UK, riser?
one with lasers with the lasers.
No, 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 no. This was like during the day. It's like a droid, like a perfect circular ball that just flew over, like maybe within 1 inch of the tarmac at Manchester Airport. And then when the security came, it shot up into the air.
Okay, true.
I mean, I'll show you what it looked like. Now, people are calling it a drone, but if you know anything, these things, you can't fly a drone generally near an airport. They get shut down. So, you see it? It's like a ball.
Yeah. Can you send me a link to this?
Sure.
I guess I can find it.
Just type Manchester UFO in X, and this happened on Thursday. A strange spherical object descended next to the runway at Manchester International Airport, England. And the video is they took video of it as well, and it's from like inside an airplane, like one of the. I mean, think about it, whatever you want. It's from a bunch of different angles, and there are like reports about it, like various media reports about it. If it were CGI, it would come out as this is CGI. Like they wouldn't run. I mean, perhaps they would, but usually they won't run a news report if it's CGI because they'll be like, oh well, that's obviously been proven to be CGI. But
I've
again,
only seen one video, and it's from the air pilot.
did you see it fly up into the air?
No.
Okay, there's another video of it flying up into the air. I remember how hard an argument, not an argument, but how skeptical you are. I remember you said, I said, what is it going to take? And you said it would take three separate videos of the same object. But even though we've had that, um, you were like, yeah, just I'm skeptical of it. I understand. What do you think it is? It's not a UFO.
Uh, that's Manchester.
Okay, I get that.
Trying to find another angle of it. Wait.
Okay, I found um if you look at the person at One Crazy Ray, ONECRAZYRAY, he's got some different angles on it. That guy. That one that one looks to be from a plane, but a different plane.
No, it's the same video from the pilot.
Okay. Well, hold on. There's the one from inside the cockpit. Then there's another one or whatever took the video that has it just like a perfect ball outside the plane. Hold on, let me see if I'm seeing a different one. It's a video, but it looks like it's just composites of the. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know what it is. I'm just, just. Uh, have you ever watched the Bob Lazar interview on Joe Rogan?
Yeah, I was in a phone call. You're playing.
Right, but have you ever seen the whole thing?
Yeah,
Okay. What are your thoughts on that? And what are your thoughts on that?
Like I don't get me wrong. I want this, but again, problems are just him talking and doesn't theory sound plausible here. Thing to back up the claim. I'm not really working on it.
Wait. That's not true. That's not true at all. There are people.
No. There is. Yeah, no. The evidence that he worked at Area 51. That's real. I'll believe it.
Okay.
Beyond that, is there any evidence supporting that there's aliens?
Yes. So the man's name is Dan Burrish. If you've ever listened to the Dan Burrish interview, it's very similar to what Bob Lazar talks about. S4, but Dan Burrish has more in-depth knowledge about the extraterrestrial biological entity portion of it. Here's another one. This is a new one I haven't seen. So this is a video showing four glowing orbs floating in the sky, which completely disappear. They just disappeared.
That could something that's
No, look at these things. Then they turn back on and they fly around each other. But whatever it is, I don't know what it is. Holy shit! What the fuck is
but if all it takes some balls to make I want
dog? Like I said, um your
I requested impossible to fulfill or something. Okay, that's fine.
no, I wouldn't say that. It's just to the point of absurd that you want. I mean, here it is from all different cameras, all different people, all over the world.
Where's the multiple camera one?
Uh, well, does it have to be recent?
Preferably if they're happening all over the time.
Let me see if
I mean, hey, ever since I learned of like tracking and the power of video editing, you can make
dude.
extremely real to the point of not being, with editing. So
Okay, so here are four different over Jerusalem. These are four synchronized videos that you'll see. This thing flies right over the Temple Mount. Four different videos, dog.
Okay, send me the link to the door.
UFO in Jerusalem, 28/01/2011. It's by Marco Vinci, Marco space Vinci. It's 43 seconds. UFO in Jerusalem. Just type UFO in Jerusalem, 4 videos. Now, if you're like, well, that could be um, special effects. I mean, this happened in 2011, which is 13 years ago. Special effects were good, but not that good. I mean, they were good enough to fool people, but this is 4 different camera angles.
Oh, well,
Isn't that crazy? It flies up into the air.
I like supersonic.
Like faster than anything you've ever seen.
Now there's a nice use of fast forward
Dog, quit it.
right there.
I mean, seriously, at a certain point, like, I can't give you any more evidence.
There's probably a kid's balloon that they put like a little lamp on, and then they fucking fast forward from film the balloon.
No. This wasn't fast forward. This is 4 different people's cameras. This isn't a fast forward trick. This is 4 independently verified videos that they had to put together. In fact, when I saw it, it was only 3.
Independently verified by
Whom? I. Who independent? I don't know. Whatever.
the organization of legit UFO footage authenticated.
I can't convince someone who's going to be blind. I can't convince
I
a
agree that footage.
I can't convince a blind person to see. It's like,
So now you're falling back on some non-secular whatever.
no, I'm saying, dude, I just showed you, like, I don't know, 8 different, well, one has 4 different angles. I showed you at least 12 different videos of UFOs tonight, not including all the documentaries we've watched, and you're still like, well, I don't know. I mean, at a certain point, it's just a waste of breath to talk to you about the subject.
Okay. I'll acknowledge that there's a high probability that UFOs exist. But as far as actual alien evidence, there's Big Turtle and guy that lives in Area 51, Bob or whatever.
Bob Lazar.
Alien in Area 51.
J-Rod.
Oh yeah,
J-Rod. J-Rod. No, not A-Rod. J-Rod, yeah. But that's really, honestly, that's really good that you know that you know his name.
I had to.
That's okay. You knew that there was some kind of alien there, allegedly, at some point. So that's half the battle is knowing that kind of stuff.
You as a up there, your lack of evidence for actual physical alien.
No, I think there's a ton of it. The fact is,
No UFOs side.
no, I think there's a ton of it. Anything, I mean, it's illegal to possess anything extraterrestrial, at least in the United States. I don't know about other countries, but it's illegal to possess or to, um, like to, it's illegal. Let me look at the law because I don't want to just talk.
Are you there?
Might be chilling. might be chilling. Okay, here we go. What is the law in the United States? Isn't it illegal to own anything from an extraterrestrial origin or something like that?
And you just say you didn't know it was the alien.
In the United States, let's see here. Um, Space debris, extraterrestrial life forms. If an item were discovered to contain extraterrestrial life, there would likely be additional legal and ethical considerations, such as the potential contamination. Hold on one second. There's something more to it. Hasn't the United States government stated in some paper that it is illegal to own anything extraterrestrial, and if anything is found, you're supposed to bring it to authorities? Yes, you're likely referring to certain regulations and practices related to the discovery of extraterrestrial materials, especially in the context of space exploration and government oversight. So, like the Outer Space Treaty in 1967, which the U.S. is a signatory of, lays down certain principles regarding the exploration of property. Under U.S. law, space debris, such as that from satellites or spacecraft that re-enters Earth's atmosphere, is considered government property and belongs to a government space vehicle. Um, the no ownership rule of extraterrestrial life. Uh, it would likely fall under the oversight of federal agencies, NASA, the CDC, and Department of Homeland Security, to investigate and ensure the potential any hazards or significant materials that were handled properly. There's a broader ethical concern around contamination of Earth's biosphere. Um, so I mean, it's like it's you're not allowed to have this stuff, or if it is, it's supposedly supposedly you're supposed to give it to authorities. And um, I mean, there's
Can they enforce that law? There be some protection of finders
I don't know if it flies.
of government.
Well, okay, so here's a case. There's a man named Mac Brazel who found wreckage on his farm in New Mexico in the 1940s. And what he did was he called the sheriff, and the sheriff came out. The sheriff called the federal government, and they blocked off all of his land, and they wouldn't allow him to use it for several weeks while they took the wreckage to Roswell Air Force Base, and then eventually Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So that's a case of a crashed UFO, and they would not allow. Oh, they wouldn't allow him. Pardon me, I have hiccups. They wouldn't allow him to hold on to any of the metals that he had there. These metals would not bend. They would not burn. He could not dent them, and they took them all from him. So anything that you have, they're going to take from you. So I think that the amount of evidence that we have is a huge amount. And of anybody who's ever spoken out about aliens from a government perspective, it's this motherfucker from Canada. Yo, dog, please tell me about the former defense minister of Canada. Hey, what's going on, med student? My friend med student is working. He's 23. He's working as a um he's working to be a doctor, and he starts that like the full on part of his medical education next year. I just met him today. So um I don't know if they ever talked to you about this. I mean, I've heard of. Okay, so do you know who Paul Hellyer is? He's the former Canadian Minister of National Defense who became widely known for his statements about UFOs and extraterrestrial life. Do you know who Paul Hellyer is? Okay, well, he was your national. Do you know what the Canadian Minister of National Defense is?
Defense.
So, like, he was the head of it. So, in 2005, he made headlines when he publicly stated he believed UFOs were real and several extraterrestrial species had visited Earth. He went as far to say is that some of the extraterrestrial beings were working with various governments, including the US and Canada, on matters of technology and security. He claimed some of the extraterrestrial species had been visiting Earth for thousands of years. Comments on government knowledge. Hellier claimed that governments around the world, especially the US government, had known about the existence of UFOs and extraterrestrials for decades and had kept this information classified. He called for the full disclosure of UFO related information and for governments to stop withholding evidence from the public. The five alien species. According to Hellier, there were at least five different alien species visiting Earth. He described them as being different shapes and sizes, with some resembling what people refer to as the greys, small gray skinned beings with large heads and black eyes. He said these beings were not at all hostile and that some were peaceful and had been cooperating with human government and technology and scientific matters. The true story of the Roswell incident. Hellier was also a critic of the official story behind the Roswell incident in 1947. He suggested that the U.S. military had covered up the crash of a UFO and the retrieval of extraterrestrial bodies in Roswell, New Mexico. He believed that the Roswell incident was one of the many. And I've given you just as much evidence as basically is available right now. I mean, I can show you alien bodies, but I don't know for a fact if they're true or not. So at a certain point, like you want to see an alien land on the White House lawn, and while that hasn't happened, they have flown over the Capitol, and they flew over the Capitol like within the last month. Let me see if I can get that footage. And they flew
The like meteorite fucking
the the doctor yeah, right. Um so that's Dr. Lear.
Roger.
Roger Lear. Yeah, exactly. And excellent. Good job. Um.
I have the video pulled up right
Oh, okay. Yeah. Um. So I mean, what is that? It's like got elements that we don't even have on Earth.
now. Yeah.
So, um. But like, it's really exciting when all you have to do is just be on Reddit and under Reddit UFOs, somebody posts something every few hours of something that's new. And also, these people are the most skeptical of anybody because they've had the rug pulled under them more than anyone. So they're the ones who are saying, no, that's a plane. No, that's a helicopter. No, that could be a mylar balloon. But a lot of this stuff is inexplainable.
One good evidence, I guess, that the federal government, like, whatever, over a week or something, discussing stuff like
Exactly. I was just going to say, well, what about the congressional hearings last month? I mean, they wouldn't just sit there and be like, if this stuff was just like someone faked it with a, like, After Effects or something like that, that would be pretty easy to disprove that or prove that it was a hoax. Um, I mean, it was in the New York Times uh, on the front page when it. I think it was on the front page, but let me check and see. I know it was in the New York Times. I think it was on the front page though. Uh, Yo, dog, when were UFOs on the front page of the New York Times? I think it had to do with the Tic Tac. You're right. Specifically, a Tic Tac UFO made headlines on the front page of the New York Times in December 2017. So it's been on the front page of the New York Times. At a certain point, this is just known as slow disclosure or soft disclosure, where they don't come out on the news and say, hey, aliens are real. Just basically like you figure it out for yourself. Have you seen the footage from off the coast of San Diego where have you seen the Tic Tac footage?
Yeah, fighter pilot.
Exactly. So I mean, these guys are fighter pilots. They're not fucking around. Nobody is able to uh, put a video in front of it. I mean, this is like they've got it on radar and they're tracking it. I mean, if it's not, and the U.S. has the most advanced military in the world, and they don't know what it is. So yeah, I'll admit that we can't see who is flying it, but that doesn't mean to say that we can wholeheartedly dismiss that it's not an extraterrestrial biological entity.
I mean, hopefully they fucking passive aggressively flying around us every ever or take over or do something.
I um, I mean, I'm looking at them over Phoenix, Arizona right now.
I think they have bases in Antarctica.
That's a good question. You know, I when I started this stream 3.5 years ago, I didn't know too much about Antarctica, particularly like. Let me ask you this. This is a little bit of a quiz. Do you know who the first man was to visit the South Pole?
Oh, I don't.
That's fine.
Explorer guy.
Exactly. And
I got where he's from.
sure, sure, absolutely. It's going to take you a while.
Yeah.
Scandinavia.
Alright.
He's from Norway. His name is Roald Amundsen. Now, what I wouldn't normally quiz you on this, but it's something that's
Oh,
very interesting that isn't studied very well. He's considered a Norwegian hero, but like to the average person, we don't know, and I feel like they don't want us to know this type of information. But what's even more interesting is he was also the first man at the to trek the North Pole. So he did the South Pole and the North Pole, and
well, oh,
and he was the first person
that's
to
weird.
to isn't it?
Freaking North did the South Pole first.
Yeah, the South Pole's
Why
easier.
didn't you go? I thought it would be no, because Norway is at the top of the world, so all the way below the equator.
But but keep in mind, Antarctica is a continent, so the South Pole is on land. The North Pole is just over ice in the winter, so it's not over land.
No, but assuming, I mean, if he's leaving from Norway, it would be much easier to go up north.
Oh, you're saying
Down.
distance wise, it's closer? Yeah, it's closer. But well, but he didn't just do that though. He was also the first person to make it through the Northwest Passage. Isn't that fascinating that this one guy did all that and nobody knows about him?
With no GPS or radar. soloing.
Correct.
You get lost so easily.
Right. I mean, he had a compass, so the compass basically tells you where you need to go.
Okay, yeah.
Right. But I mean, isn't it interesting that one guy went to first guy to go to the South Pole, the North Pole, and traverse the Northwest Passage, and nobody knows his name? The beginning of the 1900s. I'll get you all the information just a moment. Yo, dog, can you please tell me all the specifics on the dates of when Roald Amundsen from Norway trekked the South Pole, the North Pole, and the Northwest Passage? Okay, so he did the South Pole. Um, I think it was a family, like a really wealthy benefactor who did it, um, or something like that. It could have been actually, I might be confusing it with Ernest Shackleton, but um, okay, so he made it to the South Pole in 1911, and he made it to the North Pole. It's disputed that he made it, but 1926, I mean, it's really hard to prove because it's just on ice. And then 1906, he completed the Northwest Passage. So, who paid for these expeditions? Okay, the South Pole, his initial funding. Oh, yo, who paid for Roald Amundsen treks to the South Pole, North Pole, and Northwest Passage? Okay, so it was private investors, government support, and his own personal wealth. The South Pole was largely by private investors, but also included the Norwegian government. The Northwest Passage was personal savings and private donations, and the Norwegian government a little. And then the North Pole, um, private donors.
What do investors get out of that?
Great question. Well, a lot of times there would be arguments for like minerals and like staking claims on certain areas, but let's find out exactly. What is the benefit of a private investor to pay for one of these trips? Why would they want to do it? What's the benefit that they gain? Private investors funded expeditions with tangible benefits. So, commercial and economic gain, resources and trade exploration often led to the discovery of new trade routes, natural resources, and regions that could be economically valuable. For example, the search for the Northwest Passage could open up shipping lanes through the Arctic, potentially saving time and money for future trade, which it did. Monopoly or trade advantage. Investors might expect to benefit from exclusive trading rights, access to new territories, or discoveries of valuable resources in unexplored regions. There are also scientific and technological prestige. There's personal and national prestige. And I remember the national prestige was pretty big on this one. And then there's social and public influence and a return on investment indirectly, media and branding. Um, and then there's just the philanthropic reasons to do it as well. Oh, but anyway, I got sidetracked on Roald Amundsen. When I first started this, I did not know who that guy was, and um, kind of fascinated by him that he did so many different things, yet nobody, like, if you were to ask in the United States, not one in 100 people would be able to tell you Roald Amundsen was maybe 5 people in 1,000 would be able to tell you that. It's just not something that we know. it's not an American, so we don't really pay attention to anything that's not American. And it's not really well known either because it's not even like a British person, it's a Scandinavian person, which is like even further um, diluted or even further, um, even a further connection to the United
I think
States.
it's the country of origin. I think it's like the people focus on that discovered that.
Why you're saying why people in the United States don't know
I
this?
don't know. I don't think. I don't think. I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like people don't know it because he's from Norway. I think you know Norway in the day and age, they whatever gold medal or whatever the fuck, but maybe it's because they don't. Not everyone has historical station and passion for cool facts and but
Well, here we know Christopher Columbus, and he wasn't American, and he wasn't British, but we know him pretty well. We know Ferdinand Magellan pretty well.
yeah, but wait, who
Ferdinand
Christopher Columbus
Magellan,
discovered North America, which is like their
what did
the other
Ferdinand Magellan was the first person. Well, his he ended up dying in the Philippines, but or in and around Oceania. But his trek or his expedition was the first to circumnavigate the globe. So they went from Portugal to um, like Brazil, then around the called the Strait of Magellan, basically where like just north of Drake's Passage. Um, so we're talking between basically like the tip of Argentina and um, there are islands there. So basically between Argentina and Antarctica. And then they went from there to like Oceania. They he ended up, I believe, getting killed by a some natives and the people who and he was going to find he did all this to be able to find a route to the do you know what nutmeg is? Like this
egg
spice?
fight.
Yeah, exactly. That at one time was one of the most, if not the most valuable um, item on Earth, more than gold or silver or anything. And the nutmeg could only be found in what's known as the Spice Islands, which are this little group of islands in like the Philippines. And the Dutch had a stranglehold on the trade going from basically Europe around Africa. So, in order to find another way to get there, they went the other way around the world. So Magellan ends up getting killed, but the other people end up continuing the the expedition. They make it back to Portugal, and they just barely make it. And they were the first people to circumnavigate the globe. But okay, so so like I mean, not a lot of people know Magellan, but like we know Christopher Columbus. But okay, so why do I think you people don't know Roald Amundsen? I think it's because they don't want people looking into the poles. They just don't want people to know a lot about him, and it's always been a very secretive thing in the United States. And another thing that's interesting about it, usually the United States has like claims of for most like everything. I mean, like we say we have claims of the moon and stuff, but I don't even want to get into that. But Antarctica is one where we don't really have a good claim. Um, the British have a great claim. The Argentinians have a really great claim. The Australians and the New Zealanders they have good claims, but the United States really doesn't. We do have the biggest or uh, perhaps most famous scientific laboratories there, but those are really towards the coast and not at all inland. Now,
I heard that there's like trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in oil in Antarctica, but cost.
oh, perhaps there's a lot that they just don't want your average person going there. I mean, it's very, very dangerous. Um,
I mean, they have cruises that go there.
yeah, yeah, I've had some of my friends' parents have been. Um, it is not like they go on the land though. They only go around the the basically the ice walls, and they only go in the summer. So it's a little different. But at least, as I mean, as you know, like the Nazis were really interested in um, Antarctica and perhaps had a base there. It's the easiest place to find meteors in the world because it's like a big black boulder on or rock on this complete white scape. So it's just a very secretive place. And if you know anything about Admiral Byrd, so he's the really big American explorer there. There's a very weird story, like a very alien civilization was there, and when he went back to tell the American authorities, he was told that he wasn't allowed to talk about it anymore. Something like that is the story. What's going on with that? Okay, so here's what they say. The story you're referring to is one of the most popular and persistent theories around Admiral Richard E. Byrd's expedition to Antarctica, specifically in 1947. Now, keep in mind, that's when Roswell was as well. Operation High Jump Mission. However, it's important to clarify what evidence is available. The actual expedition, Admiral Richard Byrd was a well respected U.S. Navy officer and polar explorer and led several expeditions to Antarctica. His most famous was Operation High Jump, a massive U.S. Navy operation conducted in 1946 and 1947. The purpose was to establish a U.S. presence in Antarctica, over the South Pole during his mission, and indeed his instruments sometimes malfunctioned, which was not world or secret entrance to a hollow earth. Encounter with an alien civilization. Uh, Another part of this tale suggests that Byrd and his crew encountered an advanced alien civilization or extraterrestrials in a lush region. According to this theory, the beings warned Byrd to stay away from the area, and the U.S. government allegedly told him to keep silent about the encounter, with some suggesting a cover up. Government suppression. The theory suggests that Byrd was either silenced by the U.S. government or that his report was suppressed. Some people believe that Byrd was ordered not to talk about his findings because they would expose a hidden truth about Antarctica. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I don't necessarily put a lot of credence into it, just because really we don't have any evidence of this. And to think that all of a sudden everything could be nice and green and lush in this really, really uh, scary, unforgiving environment at the bottom of the world is hard to.
This is coming from the guy who looks at a laser patch.
Doug talking about this stuff. It's all just persistent rumors. But I do know of this story, and I don't necessarily think it's true. It's something interesting.
And do you think that there's
That's a great question. Um,
pyramid?
well, there are pyramids. There is a weird pyramid down there, a black pyramid. Let's learn all about that. Now that's now there's proof of that. I mean, you can look at that on.
I
Um,
know the it's literally just a mountain. Perfect.
I think it's quite perfect. Yo, dog, can you please tell me about that black pyramid at in Antarctica? The Black Pyramid in Antarctica. Most of the stories about the Black Pyramid stem from claims about mysterious uh, satellite images or claims that something strange was spotted in the Antarctic region. The closest thing to Antarctica that has been scientifically discussed are natural formations. Satellite images reveal unusual shapes in the snow or ice. So, do I think it was like a pyramid that people make? No, I don't think that. But I think there's some kind of weird black pyramid or mountain or something down there. I mean, I've seen that. Now, the interesting thing when it comes to pyramids are the association of. I mean, let me just show you the picture. I'm sure, but pyramids, Giza, China, Mexico, Giza, pyramids. These pyramids are exactly the same orientation of Orion's belt, and that's where Zeta Reticuli is, where uh, the alien grays are from, and they all line up exactly in the same way. So here's what this says. Let me show you the picture of it first. That's interesting that it. I mean, this first fucking thing that shows up. I should not have to go to Reddit for this. UFO or a set of pyramids that are in the exact same orientation. Now, same orientation. Now, getting to the World Trade Center, this is a known fact on Earth. So it would just take the architects of the World Trade Center to just build one World Trade Center a little offset to where the previous footprints were of the previous World Trade Centers to have the same orientation.
Okay. Okay. They're actually like so.
Let's look at that. Let yeah, because I've never looked at the Egypt pyramids, the Chinese pyramids, and God, how you living, pimp? How are things in your neck of the woods, big dog?
How's it going, my friend?
Every
How's the before live stream?
every meal's a feast, successful as always, my friend.
I should say, here I am. Okay. Hey, there I am.
Hello, how you doing, big dog?
Great. And I should say a happy Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
How's your
Oh, it was wonderful. Thank you so much. It was there were lots of football and stuff. Hey, I just sent you a streams. If you ever want to watch my live streams, if you ever want to watch my live streams, go to the link that I just sent you. Look how many live streams I have going simultaneously on YouTube right now. Yeah, I have more than that. They're just not all. Some of them don't have my name on them. In case I ever get banned, they're still out there, but you can't trace them to me. So it's like still my. I'm a big advocate of yours, and I know that Eddie Craven knows who you are because I shot it. Craven knows who you are because I shot it out to you in a video that he's seen. So I out to you in a video that he's seen. So I mean I know he knows who you are for other reasons as well. But we're just waiting on you to get that creative creator incentive program. You think that could come within the next year?
Easily.
Okay. Oh, really? That fast?
It's going to
Doug,
the interview here on
Doug, Doug, I'm going to tell you what.
guess what?
It,
I'm the clip.
okay. I'll tell you, I mean, it's kind of been, I'd say over the last 90 days or so, kind of quiet over there at, well, maybe,
Every day.
Doug, dude, okay. So here's the thing. They have no one watching. And, like, I'm sorry to say, but, like, it's really hard to get people to watch. I mean, you and I both know how difficult it is, and you can get lost in a sea of content. But, like, when they have certain people who they say have, 10,000 people watching them, but nobody at, it's just, nobody buys it.
Name some names.
Oh, I'll name
Name
names.
some names.
West,
Stick to it.
the biggest one I find is West Call, WES